Today we're talking about the question at hand. What elements are foundational for SEO with AI? By the end of this video, you'll master the core elements that make search engines and AI work together effectively for your website. You'll not only learn how to build a content architecture that search engines love, you'll also discover how to create AI-powered content that actually ranks. Most importantly, you'll have a clear system for implementing these foundational elements while understanding how to measure what's working and what isn't to achieve consistent, long-term results that put you ahead of your competition. Plus, I'm going to announce a $500 gift for everyone somewhere in this video. I don't know where it's going to be in the video, so pay attention to make sure you don't miss out on this.
The world is made up of people with either killer instincts or without killer instincts. And the people that seem to emerge are the people that are competitive and driven and with a certain instinct to win.
Maverick Nation, welcome back. The difference between websites that dominate search results and those that struggle isn't about having better AI tools. It's about understanding the foundational elements that make AI work effectively. Today, I'm showing you exactly what these elements are and how to implement them for consistent, long-term results. What makes these elements so crucial is how they work with AI to amplify your results. See, while most people are focused on using AI tools to generate more content or analyze keywords, they're missing out on the fact that AI has changed how search engines understand and process information. This shift has made certain SEO elements more important than ever. These aren't just basic technical requirements. They're the core principles that determine whether your content gets noticed or gets lost in the noise. The websites that consistently rank at the top understand this. They're not just using AI. They're building on these foundational elements to create a system that works predictably and consistently. Let's start with the most critical element, content architecture. This isn't just about how you structure your content. It's about creating a framework that both search engines and AI can understand deeply. The way you build this framework determines how effectively search engines process your content, how well AI tools can optimize it, and ultimately how your website ranks. Think of it as like building a house. You can have the best materials and tools, but if the foundation isn't solid, nothing else matters. The same applies to SEO in the AI era. The right foundation amplifies everything else you do, making every AI tool and optimization technique more effective. We're going to break down each foundational element, starting with how to structure your content in a way that both search engines and AI can understand and leverage. This approach is what allows some websites to rank consistently while others struggle to maintain their positions. When we talk about content architecture, we're really talking about how your content is organized and connected across your entire website. This organization isn't just about making things look neat. It's about creating a structure that both search engines and AI can deeply understand. Think about how you navigate a website. When everything is logically connected and flows naturally from one topic to the next, you'll find exactly what you need without thinking about it. That's exactly what a good content architecture does for search engines and AI. It creates clear pathways that show how different pieces of content relate to each other and why they matter. One of the most powerful aspects of content architecture is how it helps search engines understand context. When your content is properly structured, each page supports and reinforces the others. This means that when you publish new content, it doesn't exist in isolation. Instead, it becomes part of a larger, interconnected network that strengthens your entire website's authority on specific topics. For example, let's say you run a fitness website. Instead of having isolated articles about best protein powders, post-workout nutrition, and muscle recovery tips, you'd create a structured connection between all of them. Your protein powder article would naturally link to post-workout nutrition, which connects to muscle recovery, creating a comprehensive resource hub about post-workout optimization. When you add a new article about protein timing, it fits naturally into this existing structure, strengthening your site's authority on sports nutrition as a whole. This is where AI comes into play in a fascinating way. Modern search engines use AI to understand not just individual pages, but entire topics and how they relate to each other. When your content architecture is solid, it helps these AI systems recognize your website as an authoritative source. They can see how your content pieces fit together to provide comprehensive coverage of your topic areas. The practical implementation of this starts with your URL structure. A clear, logical URL structure tells both users and search engines exactly where they are in your website's hierarchy. But it goes beyond just URLs. You need to think about how your content clusters together, how different topics relate to each other, and how users might navigate between related pieces of information. For example, if you're running an e-commerce site selling outdoor gear, your content architecture might group related products together, connect them with relevant buying guides, and link everything to broader category pages that provide context. This creates a natural flow that both users and search engines can follow easily. What makes this really powerful is that when you have a strong content architecture, every piece of AI-generated content you create has a clear place to fit. It doesn't just float around randomly on your site. It becomes part of a larger, purposeful structure. This means your AI tools aren't just creating content, they're strengthening your entire website's topical authority. Internal linking is another critical technical element that strengthens your content architecture. But here's the key. It's not about randomly linking pages together. It's about creating meaningful connections that help both users and search engines navigate your content logically. For example, if you have an article about social media marketing, you might link it to related articles about Instagram analytics, content creation tips, and engagement strategies. But you do this naturally. Perhaps when you mention measuring success, you link to analytics. Or when you mention creating engaging content, you link it to content creation tips. This creates a web of content that search engines recognize as comprehensive coverage of social media marketing. Schema markup is another technical element that's become even more important in the age of AI. This code helps search engines understand not just what your content says, but what it means. For example, if you run a restaurant website, implementing restaurant schema markup tells search engines exactly what your business hours are, what type of food you serve, what your price range is, and even what dishes are on the menu. This structured data makes it incredibly easy for AI systems to understand and categorize your content accurately. But many websites miss their opportunity when they don't consider how these technical elements work together. When you combine proper hierarchy, strategic internal linking, and comprehensive schema markup, you create a technical foundation that amplifies everything else you do. For example, let's look at an e-commerce site selling sustainable products. By implementing proper hierarchy, categories, product types, then specific products, using internal linking to connect related products and educational content about sustainability and adding product schema markup with sustainability certifications, you create a powerful technical framework that helps search engines understand your site's focus and authority on sustainable products. Now, let's talk about how AI transforms your content creation process once you have this solid architecture in place. The real power comes from using AI not only to generate content, but to create content that perfectly aligns with search intent and fits seamlessly into your site's structure. Most people make the mistake of using AI to simply pump out more content, but quantity isn't what drives rankings anymore. It's about creating content that genuinely answers users' questions and fits naturally into your topic clusters. For instance, let's say you run a home improvement website. Instead of just asking AI to write an article about how to fix a leaky faucet, you'd use it more strategically. First, you'd analyze how this topic fits into your existing plumbing content cluster. Then, you'd use AI to identify the specific questions and concerns people have about leaky faucets that aren't being well addressed elsewhere. For example, your AI analysis might reveal that while there's plenty of content about fixing drippy faucets, there's less comprehensive coverage about diagnosing different types of leaks and when to call a professional versus handling it yourself. This insight helps you create content that fills genuine gaps in the market. The key to making this work is understanding how different AI tools work together. Your content research AI tools help identify opportunities. Your writing AI helps create the base content, and your optimization AI helps refine it to match search intent perfectly. Let's look at a real-world application of this. Say you're creating content about indoor plants. Instead of just generating a basic how to care for houseplants article, you'd use AI to analyze successful content in this space. You might discover that successful plant care content often combines care instructions with troubleshooting guides and seasonal care. So your content structure might look like this. First, you start with your main article covering basic plant care principles. From there, you branch into connected pieces that address specific problems like yellowing leaves, root rot, and pest control. These naturally lead into seasonal care guides that reference back to those core principles. Then, you create specific plant profiles that tie everything together, referencing both the care guides and problem-solving articles. This creates a natural flow where each piece supports and enhances the others, giving readers a complete resource no matter where they enter your content. They create a comprehensive resource that addresses users' needs at every level. This is what search engines are looking for, content that thoroughly covers a topic from multiple angles. But here's what really matters. Every piece of content needs to add genuine value. AI helps you identify what information is missing and needed, but you need to ensure that the content you create actually helps solve real problems for real people. For instance, when writing about plant care, AI might help you identify that many people struggle with watering frequency. Instead of just giving general advice, you'd create detailed guides about factors affecting watering needs like humidity levels, pot size, and seasonal changes. Each piece of content builds on the others, creating a truly valuable resource for your readers. Now that we understand how to create valuable content that fits into our architecture, let's talk about optimization, but not in the way you might expect. Modern SEO optimization isn't about stuffing keywords or following rigid formulas. It's about making your content as useful and accessible as possible for both users and search engines. Think of optimization like fine-tuning an instrument. You're not changing the fundamental sound. You're making it clearer and more resonant. That's exactly what we're doing with our content. We're not changing the core message. We're making it more clear and impactful. Here's where AI becomes incredibly powerful. Instead of just suggesting keywords, advanced AI tools can analyze user behavior in search patterns to understand exactly how people are looking for information about your topic. For example, if you're running a recipe website, AI might reveal that people searching for chocolate chip cookies often also look for specific details about texture, chewy versus crispy, how to get soft centers, or how to achieve crispy edges. This insight helps you optimize your content not just for the main keyword, but for the entire range of related user interests. Let's break this down with another practical example. Say you have a fitness website with an article about strength training. Traditional optimization might focus on keywords like beginner strength training or strength training exercises. But AI analysis might show that successful content in this space often addresses specific concerns like how to maintain proper form, when to increase weights, how to prevent common injuries, how to modify exercises for different fitness levels. By incorporating these elements naturally into your content, you're not just optimizing search engines, you're creating genuinely more useful content for your readers. This is what modern SEO is all about. The technical side of optimization matters too, but it's different from what many people think. Instead of focusing on keyword density or meta tags alone, we need to think about how our content structure helps search engines understand our expertise. For example, let's say you're writing about digital photography. Rather than just optimizing a single page about camera settings, you'd create a network of interlinked content that shows the relationship between different concepts. Think of your photography content like chapters in a comprehensive guide. You start with your main guide about camera settings, which naturally leads into detailed explanations about aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. From there, you showcase real-world examples that demonstrate these concepts in action, followed by practical troubleshooting guides that help readers solve common photography problems. Everything flows together naturally, creating a complete learning journey for your readers. Each piece reinforces the others, and AI helps you identify exactly what information needs to be included at each level. Now, let's move into how you can measure and adjust your SEO strategy based on real performance data. This is where most people get stuck because they are either focusing on the wrong metrics or getting overwhelmed by all the numbers. However, there's a simpler, more effective way to approach this. When we measure SEO performance, we're really looking at how well our content serves our audience. It's not just about rankings or traffic numbers. It's about understanding how people interact with our content and what that tells us about its effectiveness. Think about it like a conversation with your audience. The data tells you whether they're engaged, whether they're finding what they need, and most importantly, whether they're coming back for more. For instance, if you run a cooking website, your data might show that readers spend more time on recipes that include step-by-step processed photos. This isn't just a random statistic. It's your audience telling you exactly what they find valuable. Here's how this works in practice. Let's say you notice that your detailed guides about baking bread consistently keep readers engaged for longer periods than your quick recipe posts. This isn't just about time on page. It's telling you that your audience values in-depth educational content. You can use this insight to inform your future content strategy, perhaps expanding your detailed guides to cover more topics. AI tools make this analysis much more powerful because they can spot patterns that might not be obvious at first glance. For example, AI might notice that visitors who read your sourdough starter guide often return to look for troubleshooting information a few days later. This insight suggests you should create more detailed follow-up content about common sourdough problems and solutions. The key is to use these insights to continuously refine your content strategy. When you notice certain types of content performing well, don't just create more of the same. Dig deeper to understand why it's working. Is it the format? Is it the depth of information? The way you've structured your content? Understanding these elements help you replicate that success across other topics. Let's look at this in action. Say you run a gardening website and notice that your content about tomato growing gets significant engagement. AI analysis might reveal that successful posts in this category share common elements. They address seasonal challenges, provide specific troubleshooting advice, and include care information for different growing stages. You can use these insights to create equally comprehensive guides for other plants, maintaining the same structural elements that your audience finds valuable. Remember, the goal isn't just to chase numbers. It's to create content that genuinely helps your audience while building your site's authority. When you focus on serving your audience well, the rankings naturally follow. Everything we've covered today, from content architecture to AI-powered optimization, forms part of a larger strategy that can transform your online visibility. The key is implementing these elements systematically, one step at a time. When you implement these foundational elements correctly, you'll start seeing changes that go beyond just better rankings. You'll notice more engaged visitors, lower bounce rates, and most importantly, more conversions. This isn't just about getting more traffic. It's about getting the right traffic that turns into real business results. Remember, SEO in the AI era isn't about quick fixes or temporary solutions. It's about building a strong foundation that continues to deliver results over time. The websites that dominate search results understand this. They're playing the long game, focusing on creating genuine value while leveraging AI to amplify their efforts. You might be wondering what your next step should be. Well, if you're ready to stop being invisible online and start seeing real results from your digital marketing efforts, the link in the description will take you directly to my site where you can request a free digital marketing audit. Or you can type in the URL in your browser, digitalmavericksmedia.com. Or Just scan the QR code right here if you're watching on a desktop or a TV screen. Don't let another day pass while your competitors capture the customers that should be yours. Look, we've got an entire team of AI SEO Mavericks here ready to do all the hard work for you. So if you're ready to scale, there's nobody better to get you there. I mean, we are Mavericks. If you got some value from this video, hit that like button, subscribe, click the bell, and select all notifications so you get notified when I post new videos with more insights into digital marketing strategies and tactics. And I just posted a new mini masterclass revealing the new strategy I'm using to 10x the results of our clients' lead gen campaigns. It's called the Mavericks AI Lead Gen, and you can access it right here. And I think you're going to love it. So click on that video now, and I will see you over there.